The legacy is the concept of what do you leave behind. And usually we associate this concept with rich people or wealthy people that have a lot of access to either cash, Bitcoin nowadays, property, and they have to arrange their finances or their properties for when they are no longer alive. Who will get what? Do you understand this? The concept of legacy planning, however, is more broader than that. It's the concept of realizing that we can all shape, influence the world that we live in and leave it behind for after we are gone. So, of course, the financial part, the property part is an interesting part, but even more interesting is the human side of the legacy, because then it doesn't matter who you are or what you have. It is the way that you live in life and the way you practice in life and how you move forward in life. Yeah? So the concept of legacy is the concept of living a life today that generations to come will remember. You will impact the generation. Usually I tell this story and I talk about, imagine us going outside and planting a tree today, and then in 2 generations, our grandchildren, or our children or community members will walk by that tree that we plant today, sit on the bench. What are the stories that they will share about us? In this case, there's already a tree behind, outside, with a bench. And it is funny because, of course, Mr. Albrecht is in that age that if he had planted a tree 30, 40 years ago, probably the tree would have been the size that it is now. Are you connecting that dot? So if we would walk outside and sit underneath that bench, the question would be, what are the wisdoms, what are the lessons that we are taking away from Mr. Albrecht? Tomorrow, when we are having the workshop on legacy, we will go into how can we as educators, how can we as school determine values that we get based out of Mr. Albrecht's history, and how can we move and share them moving forward. It's usually a process, but a process that requires a little bit of courage, a little bit of persistence, and a little bit of follow-through to really be honest with yourself. What is it that is so important, and how do you want to influence that? As educator, your legacy is important because you are helping, you are influencing these young people to have a future, to impact a future that adds value to the world. So as educators, I want you to think about how to be future ready and how to elevate what you are doing in the day-to-day in a way that you are not just a passenger in the car called life, but you are in the driver's seat of this car called life, and you are impacting the students directly in a bigger way. I'll give you an example. I read a story about an educator, a teacher, that his thing was everybody needs to laugh. He wanted to remind his students and his direct environment that don't get caught up in taking life so serious and all of these math grades and English grades and all of these deadlines that we have, but it's important to every day have a good laughter. So that was his legacy. He really was, by the way, the thing about legacy as well as it's about consistency, right? It's not today I'm feeling like inspiring everybody and tomorrow, we'll leave it be. It's about consistency. So his thing was, after I retire, that's how it started for him, how can I influence my school to make sure that laughter is still a top priority? So he came up with this idea of once a year having a laughter day in school. And it was like a funny sock day. So every year they would think of a theme, right? Something that would activate the laughter. And by the way, laughter is medicinal. They even have laughter therapists nowadays. Are you familiar with this concept in your country? Lachtherapie, we say, and people go into the yoga classes and they have to learn to laugh. Can you imagine? Because they have become so serious in their life. So this educator's legacy was not something big, like save the world, kumbaya type of thing, but it was... Are you laughing with me or are you laughing at me? This educator's legacy was making sure of something very simple but valuable. Yeah? A yearly reminder for his school that he left behind to every year have at least one day where laughter was the central theme of the day. If we think of Mr. Albrecht, of course, the story that he has, wow, that is powerful in a way that probably in our lifetimes we won't be able to experience, which is a blessing in many ways. Yeah? But I'm just talking impact-wise. If you can enter a room and you have such a heavy story, everybody in the room goes quiet because it's impressive. Do we agree with that? And again, probably in our lifetimes, we won't have those type of big experiences as he has. But that doesn't matter. What matters is the impact that we can have with who we are. And who we are is enough. We just need to identify those unique items, those unique areas, and see how we can inspire others with that.